Well, hello guys, welcome to the first official episode of our Little House series. So I'm just gonna catch you up because there is a lot that has happened. If you missed it, we are moving and we are moving to a single wide mobile home. We are doing a full renovation and I am taking you guys along through the process. So I am going to pull up a chair and I'm gonna sit down and I am just going to walk you through some before pictures of mainly the kitchen. We are making small changes throughout the whole house and you will see that. But today's focus is going to be the kitchen because that has been our biggest area of improvement. So I shared in the announcement video that this is a small manufactured home. It is a little under 1,000 square feet. So as I go through and talk about changes, some of them are purely cosmetic. This home was beautifully appointed for the time that it was built and it was very well maintained. So we've been very thankful for that. But there have been some cosmetic updates that we wanted to do. But some of the updates that we have done, some of the changes we have made have been to make this a suitable space for a family of 4. If you live in a small home, you know that you kind of have to really weigh every space. There can be no wasted space. And so we wanted to include smart storage where we could without having wall-to-wall furniture and making it feel cramped. We want this to be a place that feels light and airy. So initially what we had planned to do was simply paint, do a few updates, maybe paint cabinets, maybe replace countertops, and maybe replace some carpeting in our bedroom. Our bedroom had some carpet that was sort of a burgundy brown shade, and that extended into our master bath, which you'll get to see all of that in another video. So those were really the main changes that we were looking at. You can see here behind me, I've been testing out paint colors. I had no idea that finding the right shade of white would be such a task. So before we get started, let me give you a little rundown of the house. The house has 2 bedrooms, it has 2 bathrooms, we have a living room, and we have a kitchen that includes our laundry closet and also includes a little dine-in area. So there, of course, is not a separate dining room. It's more of a small table in the kitchen, a breakfast nook, if you will, something kind of like that. So that is the rundown of what we are working with. So I am just going to insert a before picture here. Now this is when we had done some decluttering. So the original decorations, the things that were on the walls and surfaces is all cleared out. So you can really just see the bones of what we were working with. Previously, there had been a small 2-seater table here in this dining area with an optional leaf to pull out for additional seating. And that worked really well if you only needed 2 or 3 seats. But being a family of 4, we needed something more. So this table was one that we had in our previous home and we brought it in, and the more we looked at it and thought about it, we realized that these cabinets behind this table just absolutely would not be functional. My thought was to store small appliances in them, also to maybe store homeschool materials, and we realized that every time we needed to access something, we would have to move the table. And it felt so crowded and there was very little room between the table and the island. So after evaluating it and after talking to some friends that have some really good design insight, we decided to remove the cabinets. So that's actually the wall that I'm sitting at here. There were upper cabinets and there were lower cabinets with an extra counter space. And in one way, it was hard to lose that. But once you were in here, you just realized that it wasn't going to be functional. And so actually our plan in this corner is to do a corner banquet. If you are not familiar with a banquet, it is just an L-shaped bench, often with storage underneath. Ours will have storage underneath. And then you have a table and then some chairs on the other side. I have just been poring over magazines and I have been looking at so many things, and it seems like almost every magazine that I come upon has a corner banquet. And I've just been thinking, yes, that is absolutely what I want. So I'll show you kind of here what the layout plan will be. As I said, it will go in an L shape. And then at one side, we actually purchased a small drawer cabinet from the Habitat Restore. and we're going to put a countertop on that, and that will be our coffee bar. Above the banquette, we are going to do some open shelving, and so that will kind of replace some of that storage space that we lost. And as I said, our banquette will lift up, so we will have storage inside those benches. The other big layout change that we made in the kitchen was the island. So if you'll notice, the island has a couple of unique features. The first thing that you might notice is that it is staggered. So I guess in order to allow the dishwasher more room to open, they have it set back further away from the stove and fridge, and then they have the sink portion pulled closer. So instead of everything being in a straight line, it was oriented more like this. And we just wanted everything to be more in one straight line. So we took the cabinet boxes up. We were able to use those same cabinet boxes, but we just shored them up. The other change that we made was there was this little L-shaped piece that came around sort of awkwardly and you weren't quite sure how to use it. And then it had a lower level where kids could sit at a bench. And while I love the bench idea, I wanted all of this counter space to be one level. So we actually did away with that piece, and once we shored these cabinets up, we will come back with one solid piece of countertop, and then we will add bar stools to this. I think overall this will make a really nice place to sit. I think this will also make a really good work surface for school things, for craft things, but also for helping in the kitchen. I can foresee the kids sitting here and helping me roll out dough and do things like that and be very close to where I am working, while also not cluttering up the walkway. You'll also notice overhead above that there were some fluorescent light boxes. As I said, we've just gotten, you know, if you've done a renovation, you get into it and you say, well, while we're here, we might as well. And the initial thought was just, let's paint them white. They will sort of disappear into the ceiling and it won't really be a big deal. But once we redid the configuration of the island, it no longer made sense to have these offset fluorescent boxes. And it's astounding to me, once we removed them, it opened up the room so much more because we didn't have these big heavy boxes hanging on the ceiling. So we have actually done some rewiring, or I should say our handyman has done some rewiring, and we will have 2 pendant lights hanging there. So we have rearranged, we have redone wiring, we have taken down cabinets, we are redoing flooring, we are keeping the existing cabinet boxes everywhere on the wall and in the island. I will do an entire separate video kind of showing you my pin boards and some of my favorite pictures and magazines and my inspiration, but this space very much leans cottage for me. That's just how it feels. I don't know if it's English cottage, I don't know the specifics, but I just wanted it to feel light. I wanted it to feel airy. I wanted to include some brass. I knew that I wanted the cabinets to have a green hint and sort of lean in that direction, but I didn't want them to be a true green. So I found this color by Sherwin-Williams and it is called Shiitake, and I love it. Like I said, I've had some trouble with the white. I've had trouble finding the right shade, but Shiitake, as soon as I put it on the cabinets, and I also put it on our door, and I'll show you that, as soon as I put it on the door, I just knew this is the right color. And that was so refreshing. We picked up, of course, several different swatches, and we kept coming back to this one. So I will show you kind of the progress picture of the kitchen now. So this is obviously very in the middle of things, but you can see we have a new chandelier hanging over our new table and those antique chairs. I cannot wait for this all to come together because I think it's going to look so nice. I think it's going to be a nice balance of old and new and polished and a little bit more rough, and I'm just very excited to see it all happen. You can see there on the floor that we have taped out the area for the banquette. Just to the left of that is where the coffee bar will be. And then of course you can see the light boxes on the ceiling are no longer there. And you can see that kitchen island that we have shored up. So doing all of this really just opened up the room so much more. And it has made this space just feel lighter. I know I keep saying that, but when you have a small space, you want it to feel open and you want it to feel calming. And I definitely think the shiitake cabinet color brings in that calming vibe that I was looking for. All right, well, that concludes the first episode of our little house series. You guys will have to let me know down below what you think of my design plan. It has been so much fun to kind of flex my design muscles a little bit and do some things that I've never gotten the chance to do before. All along this process, I've really put a lot of thought into all of the decisions. Some of them I will get right, and I'm sure some of them I'll miss the mark a little bit. And I think that's just so important to say it's okay as part of the design process. And with each one of these decisions, I learn every single time. So I'm so excited to take you guys along for the rest of the process. So guys, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the design project and any thoughts that you might have. All right guys, I will see you next time and give you an update on our little house.